Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules.
So what are you proposing?
It's simple. Kill the Batman. Here's my card.
Hello, St. Louis. Welcome to the Name Pending Podcast. This is Gus here. I'm going to say hello to Tokyo, Japan this week. Tokyo, Japan for our international followers. Would St. Louis not be considered our international followers as well? Sorry. Cross the ocean followers. We'll go with that. Okay. So, but I'm going to go ahead with what everybody's been waiting for this podcast. Oh, I know I've been waiting for it. The St. Louis fact of the week. All right. Give it to me, Jack. What do you got this week? So, just how good is St. Louis? Oh, well, obviously it's the best city in the world. Gus, no. How good is St. Louis? I don't know. Guess what was invented in St. Louis? What was invented in St. Louis? 7-Up. Like the drink? Yeah, the drink 7-Up was invented in St. Louis. Huh. Also, the first ice cream cone. Okay, that wins. An ice cream cone. The people of St. Louis were smart enough to say, hey, we don't want to eat ice cream out of a bowl. We're going to make a cone that you can eat after you're done to get the rest of the ice cream. It's amazing. Just amazing, St. Louis. As it is like 36 degrees currently where we are, I wouldn't mind an ice cream cone. Apparently, we are actually in the hottest place on Earth right now. And just so you know, guys, we haven't said this yet, but we are from Canada. So, so the hottest place on the Earth is never Canada. Never Canada. We live in igloos 11 and a half months out of the year. Igloos, people. Way to get the stereotype going. We live in igloos, eh? All right, let's get into the podcast. So, info this week again. Twitter, namepending_pod. Email, namependingwastaken@gmail.com. That was a great job, Gus. That was much better than I've done normally. That's why I'm going to do it from now on, Jack. Okay. Also, subscribe, rate us on Apple iTunes and anywhere else you get pods, and just tweet at us. We'd love to hear from you. I, am the social network officer, would love to hear from you. Yes. Yes, you are, Gus. Because I do not even know, once again, what our email and podcast or even our Twitter handle are. I already said them, so let's just move on because getting you to say them again would be bad. Yeah, that would be bad. Gus, so what is this week's podcast about? Because I'm waiting in anticipation to hear what the podcast is about. This week, Athletes Pending. Athletes Pending. So that seems like it would tend towards the sports side, which seems funny that we haven't actually had any sports in any of our podcasts yet, because we are very avid sports fans, people. Very avid. We are very avid sports fans. So, Gus, I've heard through the grapevine that we may be changing one of the segments of the podcast as of today. Well, we're gonna episode 3. We're changing it up already. Well, we're learning as we go, Jack. We're going to have a new segment. It's going to be called Gus's 2-minute rapid fire questions. So you are going to ask the questions to who? I'm going to ask the questions to you, Jack. You are going to need to have, in a rapid fire format, answers to these questions I'm going to come up with every week. Should I maybe not have gotten these questions in advance, Gus? Oh, that's the fun part. I need your actual reaction instead of like a pre-planned, scripted response. Okay, I hate this. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right into the rapid fire questions? All right, Jack, here's the rules of your rapid fire questions. You got 2 minutes to answer all of these questions. I need your concise, general, overall thoughts of what you think of these questions.
Unlike your explanation of this portion of the podcast?
It's rapid fire. You should understand what that means.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. All right, 5:45. We're going up to it right now. Here we go. How do you fix the Ottawa Senators?
Well, my personal opinion would be to burn the building down, kill the owner,
Okay.
and then start over.
All right. How many more championships for LeBron James?
I'm going to say 7. I think he's going to play until he's at least 50. Because who's going to tell LeBron James he can't play basketball anymore? Nobody. Are you going to tell LeBron James he can't play basketball anymore? No. He's going to he's going to be doing Michael Jordan. He's going to buy a team, and then he's going to play for it.
All right.
7 more championships.
Okay, 7 more championships. When will the Blue Jays be good again?
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say that I'm a very good baseball guy. All I know is that Donaldson being injured is very bad. So I think that's a problem. They got some good pitching, some good young pitching, and that's all I know about it.
All right. What do you do for the future of New England with Brady and Belichick?
You keep them forever. You never let them die. You pay them $1 billion. If you need to pay them $1 billion, if Belichick wants $1 billion to stay, you give it to him.
All right.
No, you're not understanding. You give them drugs, whatever they need. Whatever Brady wants a guy, you let that guy into the stadium. Always.
Toronto Maple Leafs, cup contender with Tavares?
Of course they are. So this is very good, right? Like we're showing this right now. Tavares just got signed. So yeah, cup contenders. Go.
Buying a sports franchise tomorrow. Who do you buy?
You can afford a sports franchise?
Moving on. MLS, ever going to be on par with Premier League?
No, never.
Players teaming up in the NBA, good or bad thing?
Bad.
Would you have traded Nick Foles if you were the Phillies GM?
Interesting. No. No, I wouldn't have. Who knows what's going to happen with Wentz? Right? Wentz.
All right, that's your 2 minutes. Excellent rapid fire. I like the Foles thing.
I feel like maybe we went really slow at the beginning and then really fast at the end. There's a lot of one-word answers there, and that's going to kind of tell you what sports I'm kind of more into.
All right, let's get into the rant/debate this week.
So we've added debate to the name of this portion of the podcast. What's that all about?
Well, I saw some good debates. I felt that we were going to, in our debates, end up ranting about things anyway. So I thought this is a good way of having a structured rant. Let's call it a structured. Jack's
structure? Since when does our podcast have any structure whatsoever?
That's true. I'm sorry for trying to bring a bit of structure. I even gave Jack some notes today.
I'm reading the notes right now, Gus. It's good. They're good notes. I wish you would have given them to me more than right now.
That's fair. All right, let's get into our debates this week.
So what's the debate going to be out?
Athletes. Sports.
Okay.
So, first debate.
There's more than one?
There's many.
Okay.
We'll see how much time we got.
Okay.
So, should a career be measured by championships? I want to give you some examples first. NBA, Charles Barkley, 11-time All-Star when he retired. 4 players to only hit 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 4,000 points.
Whoa, that doesn't make any sense. You just said 20,000 points and then 4,000 points. What does that mean? Steals?
Sorry, they're assists.
Blocks?
My bad.
Charles Barkley had that 4,000 assists?
Yes.
Charles Barkley doesn't like anyone.
Well,
how could he assist 4,000 people?
You're getting out of the... Dude, this is supposed to be quick.
Okay, sorry.
So...
I don't... But he couldn't... So did he have 24,000 points?
He had 20,000 points,
yeah,
10,000 rebounds, and 4 assists. Only 4 players
Only 4 assists?
4,000?
That sounds right.
Oh, my God.
Charles Barkley only had 4 assists.
Up, Jack.
Okay, sorry. Continue on.
Derek Fisher. He did win he's won 5 NBA championships. He is the NBA record holder for playoff games played. Now, he only averaged 8.3 points per game, 2.1 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game.
So, going into Derek Fisher, didn't Jason Kidd sleep with his wife?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I feel like he did. I feel like I heard a story about this, and like, Kidd or Derek Fisher showed up and beat up Jason Kidd or something. I feel like this is the story. I realize that's going off. So 5 NBA championships?
Derek Fisher's a pretty small guy. How did he beat up Jason Kidd?
Jason Kidd's not that big either.
Fair. All right, NHL. Jerome McGinley, 6-time All-Star, 2 times Rocket Richard, 1 Art Ross, 1 Lester Pearson. Scored 30 goals in 11 consecutive.
What would the Lester Pearson Award? I'm a hockey fan. I don't know what that is.
That's basically most valuable player, but it's voted by your peers instead of the Hockey Association, whatever they call that.
Okay.
So he had 30 goals in 11 consecutive seasons. He didn't win a cup.
Just a second, Gus. Mine says 30 gold in 11 consecutive. That's impressive. I'm putting him in the Hall of Fame. Number 1. 30 gold in 11 consecutive seasons?
Stop calling out my notes.
Okay, continue on.
So, someone who did win, Nikolai Khabibulin, 4-time All-Star.
You're saying Jerome McGinley didn't win, right? You didn't mention
win.
that. Okay.
I did say it. You were calling out my notes.
Oh, yeah, I did say didn't win. Okay, continue on.
Khabibulin, 4-time All-Star, 1 Stanley Cup, known as the Bulin Wall.
Why did you add a guy with 1 Stanley Cup? That seemed kind of... I don't know about that.
Well, because everyone thinks he's good, and he had a Stanley Cup. He won. That's the point of this argument.
I don't think he's that good.
But he had a .907 save percentage, and
Yeah.
he won 1 less game.
I want to throw this out to you, Gus, because I looked at this the other day. Have you looked at some of the goalies that were a little bit older? Have you looked at their save percentages?
Was that really bad?
900 used to be good.
Okay.
Like, you look at some of these guys like Jacques Plante. I think it's like now.
They
in
weren't
all fairness, they
wearing equipment.
didn't have a mask, so they were trying to dodge the puck most of the time. I realize that, but I'm just saying. Sometimes the save percentages and everything. I know the save percentages are high now. Sometimes they were low. Just a little fact for you.
Okay, so a fact right back at you. He won 1 less game in his career than he lost. That's not good. He had basically a 50% win ratio. As a goalie, that's probably not what you're looking for.
No. In baseball, you'd be a star.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? If you're over 500 in baseball, you're gold. But yeah.
NFL, Dan Marino, the pinnacle of my argument, one way or the other. Dan Marino, 9 Super Bowls, playoffs 10 of 17 years. He's second all-time in TDs and yards. Didn't win a championship.
Yeah, so I want to go at this. So I realized Dan Marino was a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But why couldn't he win?
Oh, this is the argument.
Where's his playoff stats? Why didn't you provide me with his playoff stats? You gave me the regular season. Kovalchuk. Pavel Bure? Nah, he was good in the playoffs too. I'm trying to think of somebody else that kind of like goes against this. There's lots of guys who are good in the regular season. I realize Dan Marino is good. So I'm going to go into the notes here. You got Terry Bradshaw. So Terry Bradshaw, also in movies.
Okay.
Does that add to the mystique?
No.
Okay. All right. I haven't seen Dan Marino in any movies.
Because he's
the water. No, not the water boy.
he's an ugly Gomer.
No. What's that? Pet Detective? I feel like he was in Pet Detective.
Oh my goodness.
Jim Carrey.
Anyways, so he didn't win second all-time in TD and yards. Terry Bradshaw. He did win. He won 4 Super Bowls.
Were the Dolphins good before Dan Marino got there too? Didn't they have like an unbeaten season?
I'm sure they were. I don't know.
And won the Super Bowl?
It's the Dolphins. I try not to talk about
I feel
Dolphins.
like they were good before Dan Marino got there.
Possible.
So maybe he was just throwing lots of TDs and not winning anything.
All right. Well, that's your argument there. So Terry Bradshaw. Can I just
maybe
go through the facts of Terry Bradshaw?
No, maybe Dan Marino should have ran the ball more.
So you're saying that the lack of championships means that he wasn't a good QB?
I'm saying it's not always.
So that's your argument?
I'm saying that in football, the quarterback's the most important position on the team.
Agreed.
So if you're that good and played that long, maybe you should have won a Super Bowl.
There's only so much he can affect, though, in a game.
When did Dan Marino win his Super Bowls? I'm going to look this up.
Dan Marino did not win any Super Bowls.
No, not win his Super Bowl. Sorry. When did Dan Marino play? Was there some like super team that was beating him every year? It can't be the Buffalo Bills. They were making it.
Joe Montana? 49ers? Was that the 49ers time?
Yeah, exactly. Joe Montana. What's his stats?